Welcome all to the weekly outlook. Boone here from EWPRO. Getting straight into the weekly outlook, starting with the DXY on the daily. There's two scenarios here. We've got that WXY X2, and this is the Z down, finishing off the move, and we go up and break that top. The other scenario, which is what I'm more inclined to be looking at this stage, is we've got an A, B, C in here. And then we get an A, B, C for more downside. Looking at the lower time frames, there still is some more upside. Nothing's really changed since last week. We're looking at that WXY. We're looking for that X2, and then we'll be looking for that Z up. So we're waiting for the time factor here, over here. This may be like an A, B, C in here, and then we get an A, B, C, finishing off this X2 before we get that Z up. On the H1, there's really not much to buy at this stage. You'd have to go down onto the lower time frames. This looks like it may give another one down in here to finish off this move down in here, and then we get the A, B, C, and then that larger A, B, C. So we might be in correction pretty much all week, all next week. You can look to buy it, and then you'll be looking to sell, and then you'll be looking to buy again. Doesn't matter if you miss all this. It's this one here that you don't want to miss once we get that time factor for that wave Z up. AU on the daily. Not sure that's on there, but so this is going quite nicely. We've got that nice A wave up, and then an A, B, C. This is starting to break out of the trend line here now. And like I mentioned last week, we've got that bullish divergence in here. So we're only looking for buys. As soon as that low's broken, we're only looking for buys. On the H4, it's just one move up. There is I was going to say there might be a bear hidden here, but it doesn't look like there is. You really need to wait for a correction now. If you're not in it already, you really need to wait for a correction. And then we can buy into it. And we're targeting this 100 fib on the daily. I'll just change the color of that. So we're after this 100 fib here. So that's the target. So there's plenty of opportunity to get into this. On the H1, it's sort of waiting for that larger correction. We sort of got a flat in here, an A, B, C in here. And we get an A, B, C. We're getting all this bearish divergence. So I would like to see a larger correction. And then we can start to buy. There is no buy or sell on it at this stage. I mean, this was your buy in here. I did get into one down here somewhere. I'm out of that. When I started to see this, I got out of that. So I'm waiting for a larger correction as well, and then I'll buy into it again. EU on the daily. Not sure where all these fibs come from, but we'll get rid of them. Not sure what's going on there, but nothing's changed. We've got that A, A, B, C. We're looking for this flat in here for a very long time, and then we're looking for that larger C up. Is this over down in here? We go down to the lower time frames and see what's happening here. I think I did have that fib on there. So we're looking for a correction a similar size to that. Well, this is a lot larger. That doesn't mean much. We still can get that wave Z down. If we go down to the H1, we only just broke this top over here. I'll see if there's bearish divergence here. It doesn't look like we do have bearish divergence, but we didn't get up to the 100 fib in this here, that A, B, C. This one here didn't get up to that 100 fib. So this may be over. We may be able to go down onto the lower time frame and see what's happening in here. Yeah, we've got no bearish divergence, so more than likely we'll get more upside. Yeah, see on the M30, you have to be careful with selling at this stage because we do have a bull hidden here. So this may be some sort of an A, B, C down as a flat, and we get a bull hidden there, and we get one more up, possibly up to this 38.2, and then you start look for that sell. GY on the daily. This one's still going. Not sure where all these fibs and everything come from, but so pretty much rolled out the E down. We've got a cross going up here now. So I dare say this is like an A, a B, and we're in a C up, and we get an extended wave in here, a W, X, Y, X to Z up to that 100 fib. Up to this 100 fib up here. It's very difficult to sell though at this stage. Sorry, to buy. This looks like a flat in here. Like we get some sort of an A, B, a C down before we get an A, B, C, and then we may get more downside as an A, B, C. So it is quite difficult at this stage to get a trade on it. We are getting bearish divergence in here between the two tops on the H1. We can see how sharp this move down is in here. So I would be looking for an impulse down in here as some sort of a running or expanding flat. More than likely be a running flat. And then we get an A, B, C. So if we get this nice impulse down here and then you get a buy set up on the lower time frames, you could look to buy it. Just for a C up, but you may get lucky and it may go and break the top and may even go from here and get to that 100 fib on the daily. NU on the daily. So this one looks like it's completed its pattern as well. On the daily, we got that nice impulse up, A, B, C in the B wave, and then we're looking for that C up. H4, there still is a chance that we get one down in here for a W, X, Y, X2 and a Z down. Yeah, see, we don't have any bullish divergence in here, so there still is a chance that we get another one down, a wave Z down. So if you're buying into this in here, which you definitely could have, buy into this, you definitely want to be at break even. On the H1, is there any bearish divergence? See, on the H1, we are getting bearish divergence, and we were looking for that that wave Z down. So it does become difficult to buy if you're not already in it, because we do have that bearish divergence, and it is possible that we get this wave Z down. Ideally, we do get this wave Z down, and then any buy setup we get, we can really load up and load up for the longer term daily 100 fib. GY on the daily. This one's still going. We're looking at that WXY. Then we'll be waiting for an X2, and then we'll be looking for that Z up for the A, B, C. Not sure why I've got all these duplicates on here. Seems to be every chart. Not sure what the go is there, but so really, you know, you really you really have to wait for the correction. Trying to buy up here is dangerous, because as soon as you buy, you know, it'll start to correct on you. H4, we are getting all that bearish divergence, so this is starting to come to an end. And this may be some sort of an A, a B, a C in here as a running or expanding flat in here as well before we get an A, B, C. And this may be the X2. So wave Y ends here, and this is the correction that we, you know, we get a correction a similar size to that over here. We got all that bearish divergence on the H4, so we're only really looking for sells. Yeah, you'd have to, if you're looking for a buy, it looks like on the lower time frames you may be getting a WXY. You could wait for an X2 and a Z up. On the lower time frames, if you're looking for the buy, you'd have to wait for a correction in here. But yeah, USD Japan. On the daily, we got that A, B, C. I'm looking at some sort of a flat in here, and then we get an A, B, C to finish off that B wave before we get that A, B, C. So I'm really only looking for sells. There was a buy there. This is still looking bullish up the top here. It's not ready to go. The problem is, you know, we got that bearish divergence as well. I was looking for some sort of an A, a B, a C in here, but this has turned into a correction. So we got some sort of an A, B, C in here, and then we get an A, B, C, some sort of a correction. If we get some sort of a correction there, and then you get a buy set up, well, then you could look to buy. Again, it's very risky because we've already got the divergence, the bearish divergence. But this is looking like it's forming some sort of a correction up the top here. As some sort of an A, B, C, then we get an A, B, C before we get a larger A, B, C. So if you are buying this, you'll have to be careful. As soon as that these two tops here are broken, you know, you want to be at least a break even, because you could get that one down. USD CAD, there's really not much on this one. Like I've been saying for a long time, we're looking for a correction a similar size to that over here. I'll put this arrow on here so we've got an idea of the time frame. So there is still a time factor involved here. We had that nice impulse up, and then a very deep correction. So what I'm looking at here is like an A, B, C, and then we get an A, B, C before we get a larger A, B, C, filling in this time factor here. And then we can, if we get, excuse me, if we get this C down in here, this larger C for the A, B, C, and then a buy setup, well, you know, that's our opportunity to get into a longer term buy. Until we see this correction over, I would be just staying out of it. Yeah. The reason I'm looking at this as as a correction is because we get very deep pullback of this. This one here, I don't think even broke the top. It didn't. So, you know, we got a very deep correction in there, a very deep correction in here. This one did go and break that low, so we're looking at that A, B, C, and then we get that A, B, C, like I mentioned before, we get the larger A, B, C. So it is going to be quite choppy for the next few weeks. USD Sheffy, again, I've got all these fibs on here. I'm not sure where they all come from, but anyway. We've got this like A, B, C in here. We've got that bullish divergence, so I'm only looking for the buys. But the problem is this is quite choppy. It doesn't look like any sort of reversal, impulsive. And we can see that when we look at the H4, the way I'm looking at this, I'm looking at that A, 1, 2, 3 in the B, and then we get that A, B, C as an expanding flat. Before we get another one down. This is looking bullish in here still. You know, put another one up for like a WXYX to a Z up on the lower time frame. So you may be able to get a buy in here. Again, this is quite risky too, because this can be an A, B, C, then we get an A, B, C, then we get an A, B, C, before we get the larger A, B, C breaking the top. You know, it is quite risky, and we don't have any bullish divergence. I dare say on the lower time frame we'll start to get a bear hidden in here. So it can give us that another one down in here. If I just go down to the M30, it may be giving it. No, it's not. Maybe on the M15, it's starting to give a bear hidden. On the M15, you can see that we don't have any bullish divergence, and we're getting this bear hidden here. You know, so really, it's very hard to buy unless this top's broken, and then it's going to be risky anyway, because as soon as this top's broken, more than likely it'll fall down again, for that structure that I showed just before. So the safest way I would be looking at it is looking for a bear hidden in here and a sell setup. It'd want to be a nice sell, and valid to trade as a hidden divergence, which I can't really go into on YouTube. But yeah, I'd be more interested in selling that just to go and break that low if I was going to scalp this pair. You're only scalping because we're still in that large correction. So yeah, but that's what I'd be looking for, a sell setup in here, for that if we got the bear hidden, and then, you know, take half off at the bottom there, and then I'd be scalping a buy to go and break these tops up here. But yeah, you're only scalping this pair at this stage. EG on the daily. This one's still coming down, which is surprising. If I just zoom in a little bit here. So we're looking at that A, B, C. This is 100 pip, so it can come down to this 100 pip. The reason I say it was surprising is because it took so long in here, but it's finally starting to fall over, which is good, and we're even breaking these lows here. The problem is we're losing that bullish divergence, but we'll have to see how far this comes. If it goes past this 100 fib, we'll we'd be looking for another large correction like this over here for a wave Z down. We've just got to wait on this and see how far this goes on the daily. On the H4, we lost the bullish divergence. I believe we lost the bullish divergence. Yeah, we did lose it on the H4 in this wave Z down. We're looking at that like W, X, Y, X2 and the wave Z. We got that wave Z, then it gave a correction and we're getting more downside. We would be getting bullish divergence in here on the lower time frames, so it'd be very difficult to sell. See, on the H1, we are getting all that bullish divergence now. There was a bear hidden in here to go and break the low. Yeah, if anything, we've broken the low. We're breaking the lows. So I'd really only be interested in buys. But yeah, a very difficult pair to trade, as I've mentioned before. WTI, and again, I've got all these fibs on here. I'm not sure where they all come from. But so we got that A, B, C in here, and then we got an A, B, C. This one broke the low, and we got all that bullish divergence. So I was only looking for a buy setup, but again, we got a big correction in here. So nothing's really changed from last week. Where all these comes from, but looking at that A, B, and a C, we're starting to get that C up. The problem is this can be finished at any time. This wave up here did go and break the ending point of wave A, so it can be finished at any time. It's sort of still looking a bit bullish in here. If I remove this, yeah, you can only buy this. On the H1, you can really only buy it. We've got that nice impulse up. Got some sort of an A, B, C in here. So I might just go down to the lower time frame and see if there's any setup here. We got a nice impulse up in here, and we get an A, B, C in here as an expanding flat. So we're already on the M15, so you got to go right down onto the lower time frames. Any bullish setup, you could look for buys, and you definitely want to stop at the low. Yeah, it's more of a buy. Yeah. Gold on the daily. Again, I've got all these. I don't know where they come from. All these fibs, but I'm not sure what the go is there. But anyway, we got this like A. I'm looking for a B and then a C, and then we get an A, B, C as some sort of a larger correction before we get an A, B, C up to those weekly fib levels. You know, that 123.6 and the 161.8, which I've been mentioning for a very long time. I did show that on Trading View, that trade that I put out on the weekly. You know, we're in that wave Z. So I was looking for 2-year correction in here and then a wave Z up. That can get up to that 161.8 or the 123.6. So again, you know, I'm looking at that, at a larger correction in here, to finish off that move. On the H4, this is still looking bearish in here for that A, B, C as that expanding flat. Before we get another one up in here, it's still looking bearish for some sort of an A, B, C to finish off this move, this B wave. And then we get that A, B, C, and then we get that A, B, C, like I showed before we get the A, B, C. So this could be quite choppy for a long time before it actually goes, or gives us a nice trade. You can see here, I was looking at this, like we got that wave Z down, and then we got one, like an A wave here, an A, B, C down in here. So I was just looking for a flat as an A, B, C, expanding flat. The thing is, this one didn't come down and break the lows. It would have been nice if that had come down, broke the lows, and then we can start to load up on the buys instead. You know, I think I said last week we can only sell it. You know, there's really nothing on it to. You know, we're getting deep corrections. That's the problem. We got a nice move up there, deep correction, rather deep correction to that move. This move here is very deep to that. This one went up and broke the top. The price action isn't really fitting a nice structure now. It would have been nice if that one did go down and break all the lows. And then we could look at that as the larger correction and then a possible reversal. But we're just going sideways. At this point here, it's extremely, I mean, we sort of got an A, B, C in here, and then we can get some sort of an A, B, C, and the A, B, C. So it's looking corrective. I think, you know, you really can only scalp it at this stage. Silver, nothing's changed on this on the daily. We got WXY, X2. We had that bull hidden, so we're looking for that wave Z up. The problem was with this wave Z up, we lost the bearish divergence. So I'm just looking for a correction here down to the 50 fib or 61.8 before we get another one up. So I was just looking for a correction in here before more upside. Now, is this over? See, this is more of a flat, like an A, B, C as an expanding flat in here. This top here just broke that top. Technically, the way I teach to trade, which I can't really go into, we can really only sell this. But if this is a flat, which I'm looking at, you know, you really want to try and get onto a buy. I dare say on the H1 we got bullish divergence in here. We got those 5 down on the H1. We got that WXY, X2, the Z down. We've got all that bullish divergence. This was your buy setup in here. I'll put this in the room. You know, we got that buy setup in there. This was where you wanted to get in. We had a Z down in here at the time. And then we were starting to get this. This one didn't go, and it actually fell over and broke the low again, ending off the wave Z. And then we had this this was your opportunity to buy. There's no bearish divergence, so you'd be looking for a retrace, a bull hidden, and then you could look for another buy on the lower time frames. Pretty much only scalping, because this is so choppy, right? It's so choppy. So yeah, that I'd be looking on the lower time frame for a bull hidden, and then you could look for a one up. Bitcoin. Again, I've got these fibs everywhere. But anyway, Bitcoin, I'm still looking at it a similar way. We got a nice A, B, C in a B, and then we get an A, B, C as an expanding flat. Before we get more downside to at least go and break that low. Like I've been mentioning, this is still looking very much bullish, and we can get that like W, X, Y, X2, and a Z up. I'm still looking at it like that. This is starting to turn into a larger correction, but that doesn't mean the upside's over. The H4, we can see how choppy this is. This is looking very corrective. I think we did have a bear hidden in there. I was looking at in one of the daily outlooks. We had this bear hidden here to go and break the low, and then we'd be looking for the buy if we get that bullish divergence. So that's pretty much playing out. I mean, you guys didn't see that daily outlook, but yeah, we were looking for a bear hidden here for this to go and break the low, and that's pretty much what's happening. So what you'd be looking for now is we want to see that low broken, a bullish divergence, and then nice impulse up, any correction, then you can look for a sell. If you get into Bitcoin and you trade Bitcoin, once this low is broken, and if we get the bullish divergence and you get a nice bullish setup, you don't want to miss that, because that can be the daily Z up. Go up and break that top. S&P 500, nothing's changed on this. Again, I don't know where all these fibs come from, but yeah. Anyway, we got that like A, B, C. It's getting up to that first target, which is that 100 fib, and it may even go up to the second target, that 161.8. We are starting to get that. Well, we're getting that bearish divergence in here. That can still change. The H4, it's playing out pretty much exactly what we're looking for. We got that W, X, Y, X2, we got the Z up. And then we were looking for that larger correction. We got that A, B, C as the larger flat. And then we get that A, B, and we're in the C up. So this is playing out, well, again, you can look at my trading view channel and you'll see this trade that I put it out over here, for this C up. So if you want to follow me on trading view, well, yeah. We're starting to get bearish divergence here on the H1, so it becomes very risky to start to buy up here. So yeah, if you're not in the trade already, you really need to, I'd be sitting on the sideline and waiting till it's all over, or you get a larger correction. AU200, again, I don't know where all these fibs come from. I think I'll put that one on, but we're looking for this C up. This has been very slow and painful in here, but we're looking for an A, B, C in the B wave, and then we're looking for that A, B, C up to that 100 pip. It is playing around quite a lot in here, which is fine. We've broken out of this trend line here. you can see nothing's changed since last week. We're looking at that A, all this is a B, and we get a C up, at least a C up. So we're getting all that bullish divergence. So we're only looking for buys. It's not giving the buys at this stage, and I believe we've got a bear hidden in there on the H1. So again, we got a bear hidden here. So it's very important to know these hidden divergences, and that if you want to learn how to do this and how we actually trade them, it'll change the way you trade forever, and your consistency will be so much better. It'll keep you out of a lot of bad trades. But yeah, we've got a bear hidden there, so I expect that to go and break that low, giving us even more bullish divergence, and then any buy setup we get, look for that buy. The FTSE on the daily, this is given the larger correction. We got those 5 up. We got an A, B, C, and we're looking for that. If I just zoom in, you may not be able to see. So we got that A, B, C. Impulse up, and we're looking for a buy. Very similar to AU 200. Again, I don't know where all these fibs come from, but yeah, this one here, like I said last week, AU 200 looks a lot better than this one, because the FTSE we don't have that bullish divergence, whereas the AU we have AU 200 we have that bullish divergence. So this can give another one up here and then another one down. We have that bear hidden there. So this one's going to be a little bit more difficult to trade. And again, you can see here, no, we don't have a bear hidden on it. This looks like some sort of an A, B, get a C up in here as your flat, and then you get an A, B, C. If you get some sort of a structure like this, well, then you could, even though we don't have any bullish divergence on the H4, you could look for at least a C up for the A, B, C. It may bounce off this trend line here, and then give us another one down to go and break that low, then giving us a bullish divergence on the H4 like I showed. The DAX on the daily, this one's still going, and it's broken the top. I mean, I really still have to look at it the same way as an A, B, C as an expanding flat. And then we get an A, B, C before more upside. But yeah, I definitely wouldn't be buying up here. We got all that bearish divergence on the daily, and it's going sideways. So there's no point wasting your time looking for buys, in my opinion. We had that. It's not giving a nice setup. That's the problem. We got that nice low here, lower low. If we got a nice correction in there, definitely could jump on it. Instead, this is turning more complex in here. We got some sort of an A, B, C before we get an A, B, C. H1, it's still looking, it's looking bullish here. We don't have any bearish divergence between these two tops. You can only buy this on the H1. You can only buy it. Got that nice impulse up. We got the bullish divergence. It's getting some sort of an A, B, C in here with an A, B, C in here. So yeah, if wait for this correction to be over, and then you could look for at least an A, B, C. If you got some sort of a nice buy set up over here, you could definitely look to jump on it. But again, you're only scalping because you're at the top of the market. So I hope you enjoyed the weekly outlook. If you did, please hit the like button, share, subscribe. The sooner we get to 1,000 views, 1,000 followers, we can start to do live trading sessions and add a few things in. If you want that, well, share. If you don't, well, don't. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.